I'm the daughter of the Demon King, yet I transmigrate into the body of a notorious 18th-tier female celebrity famous for scandals and was even forced to participate in a paranormal-themed show. The Mick asked, I heard you're really afraid of ghosts. Do you feel scared now? I have to say, it's the demons and monsters who should be afraid of me. I was awakened by the noise of a heated discussion. That girl, Wu Wenwon, the one who chased after the actor Fu Ying to enter the Man City studio to breed stars, sure enough, has a fox face look, and she's so stubborn, arguing as if she partially resembles the young best actress herself. Look, she saw the best actress accept the invitation to join the paranormal show, yet shamelessly insisted on coming along herself. I opened my eyes and saw that I was in a makeup room. That voice belonged to the two makeup artists for me. They clearly saw me wake up and didn't even lower their voices. Instead, they rolled their eyes at me. My mind was busy clearing and sorting out the situation. I'm the daughter of the Demon King of the underworld. In order to break through my poor cultivation, I was sent to the mortal realm for training. I transmigrated into the body of a scandal-famed female celebrity, the One, the original owner. It could be said she's the most hated starlet in the entertainment industry. Actually, she has a very beautiful face, bearing some resemblance about 30% to the youngest best actress in the entertainment world. When she first entered the entertainment circle, she even had the nickname Little Acting Fairy. But unfortunately, she signed with an unreliable agency that constantly used her to drain heat and attention from the other actress. Not only that, she was forced to pursue Best Actress Fuyazi, knocking on her hotel room door in the middle of the night. Once the paparazzi caught her, Fu's fan club harshly scolded her, branding her shameless. After enduring all this, Wenwen gave up, sank into ruin, and resolutely embraced the path of fame through scandal to the end. Yet, when an ordinary woman first joined the paranormal show The Soul Beside You, a show themed around the supernatural, Wenwen insisted on participating. And that's when I transmigrated in. I looked down at the script in my hand provided by the production team for Wu. Indeed, the team agreed to let her participate, but with conditions. The main condition was for her to act dumb to contrast with the intelligent female lead. I browsed the first few pages. Basically, they wanted me to pretend to be foolish and arrogantly proud, opposite to the humble and smart female character. But I felt nothing about those. Only when I flipped to the last page did I see that I had to show a very scared expression of ghosts and demons. Like hell, I'm scared the Demon King's daughter's scared of ghosts. Those demons would be lucky if they weren't completely terrified by me. After makeup finished, the show quickly started filming. This time, the filming location was in an abandoned school. This place is notorious in the city for being haunted. Over 20 years ago, it was a prestigious girls' school, but suddenly a girl committed suicide there. No one knew why she took her own life, but after her death, strange incidents began happening. Eventually, the school relocated. This place was supposed to be rebuilt into an apartment complex, but every time construction began, something would go wrong, so it was left abandoned. Standing before the school gates, I looked up and saw the place shrouded in oppressive demon energy. It was clearly a cursed, haunted spot. It takes guts for the show to come film here. Naturally, the production team was a bit concerned about this. As I stepped closer, I saw several Taoist priests performing rituals. After completing the rites, the elder priest stroked his white beard confidently and told the director, "Director, you can rest assured after the ritual. There's absolutely no evil spirit here. Please proceed with the show." The director bowed respectfully and expressed thanks. Unexpectedly, I suddenly spoke from the side. "You're not so sure?" All eyes turned to me. The old priest frowned. Who is this girl to speak that way? He didn't know me but felt irritated that someone doubted his abilities. I finished the ritual here. Of course, no evil spirits remain. He was very confident. But I pointed to his shoulder and said, "Then what is that on your shoulder?" A little imp was clinging there, invisible to the priest thanks to my much stronger spiritual perception. Upon seeing the imp, the priest angrily said, "What nonsense are you talking about? The show The Soul Beside You always pursues authenticity. Everything on site is broadcast live to the public." After hearing my words, the online audience immediately started cursing Wo. Disgusting. Such an act. Just minutes ago she was scaring everyone. And now she's pretending. The Grandmaster is a respected figure. What's with this girl trying to bluff and show off? Is she just trying to act to get more screen time? People desperate for fame will do anything. No wonder the true 011 is so hated. Even through the screen, I could sense the intense animosity radiating. The commentary section was raging. I found it amazing how internet users could develop such intense dislike for someone they had never met. Suddenly, a gentle voice came from behind me. Grandmaster, please don't be angry. Wenwen was only joking. I turned and saw the youngest Golden Horse Best Actress in history, now a goddess with one of the highest public profiles in the entertainment world. Her age was close to Luo Wenwen's. Their faces bore some similarities, but while the goddess' face was pure and innocent, Luo Wenwen's was gorgeous in a different way. Strictly speaking, Luo Wenwen was very beautiful, but the public preferred a pure innocent look. Hence the goddess' face was more popular. She looked at me gently but seriously. Wenwen, I know you want to prove yourself, but the deceased deserve respect. We should be cautious about things we don't understand. Though it sounded like advice, it was actually a subtle criticism that I was superficial. Speaking recklessly and disrespecting the dead. The moment this goddess appeared on screen, the comment section exploded. Ah, the goddess is here. So beautiful. I've worn out my screen from licking. She's truly dignified. Respects the deceased, unlike Luo Wenwen. There was no contest. Luo Wenwen couldn't compare with our goddess at all, just a top-class tantrum. Most comments praised the goddess and threw shade my way. I didn't bother responding and just shrugged. Whatever, doesn't matter, after all. I wasn't scared of ghosts. The spiritual energy here only affected mortals, not me. After the ritual, our group prepared to enter the school. To increase viewership, the production team added a task. They hid 3 protective talismans around the school. Guests had to find all 3 talismans to reach the rooftop and complete the challenge. At 9 p.m., 5 guests our group plus 2 cameramen officially entered the school. Among them, a female guest named Xiaolu immediately felt dizzy and nauseous. Her birth chart was too weak to withstand the heavy cursed energy inside the school, but the production thought she just got food poisoning and ended her scenes early. The remaining 6 of us continued on. The whole school was gloomy and chilly. The wind rattled through rotten window frames, sending chills down the spine. Other guests were shaking with fear. Only the goddess remained calm, comforting the others. If you're scared, let me go first. The comments exploded with praise. The goddess is so kind. I glanced at her. She carried a special spiritual aura likely from ancestral protection in her family. Perhaps that's why her career went smoothly in the industry. But such ancestral virtues were average at best. Her spiritual cultivation barely measured against the cursed energy present. Soon, the group reached a classroom at the end of the 3rd-floor corridor. Apparently, there was a lab at the corridor's end. Let's check it out. The host of the show, Wen Heshen, spoke up and led everyone forward, but I stopped. Everyone noticed and asked, Wenwen, why aren't you coming? I snapped, you can't enter that room. The girl died there. The cold wind blew as I saw everyone shudder. The comment section suddenly was silent. Then burst again with scorn. That Luo Wenwen again? Addicted to ghosts and gods? Come on, the details of that case aren't public yet. How does she know where the girl died? She just spouts nonsense to attract attention. People like her will swallow anything. Gross. Not only the commentators doubted me, but the guests said too. Wei Heishan lost patience, waving his hand. Alright, Wenwen, stop messing around. There's a mission. Get moving. They followed me inside. I said, the girl didn't just die in the classroom. Because of the strong grudge, she became a territorial spirit. Her soul is bound here, unable to leave. Such spirits carry intense resentment and can't be pacified, turning into malevolent spirits. Of course, no one cared to listen. They didn't even wait and entered the classroom immediately. I followed eagerly to watch the show unfold. Upon entering, everyone shuddered. The temperature dropped sharply. The most cowardly guest, Ansiona, was about to cry. Is it because of me? I shivered again, feeling the cold was too much. The director Wen Hashan arrogantly dismissed it. Maybe I'm just remembering something from the heart. I don't really know what's going on or what's freeing or for what purpose. I had no idea what he was talking about. Probably just nonsense. Actually, the production deliberately set the air conditioning very cold to scare us. Alright, let's split up and find the talismans. Everyone began searching. Soon someone shouted, "Got it!" On the teacher's desk drawer was a bag containing 7 yellow talismans. My action gathered everyone. Take one each. Chell isn't here, so 1 talisman will be left over. He stopped mid-sentence. Originally, 7 people in the show meant 7 talismans, 1 per person, but Shalu left early due to sickness. So 6 people remain, meaning there should have been 1 extra talisman. Yet the desk was empty. Wen frowned. Who took the extra talisman? No answer. I spoke. No one took an extra one. Everyone looked at me. Coldly, I toyed with the talisman in my hand. There's an additional person in our group. Didn't you see? I pointed behind them. They all turned to see a girl in red standing silently in the dark corner, clutching a yellow talisman, long hair flowing. Oh no! The guests hadn't noticed her. Once I pointed her out, everyone screamed in terror. This girl is the one who committed suicide here that year. Because her death was tragic, her grudge formed a long-lasting manifestation. Even those blind to spirits might see her, not just on-site guests. But viewers through the live stream also saw her on camera. The comment section exploded. Oh my god, what's going on? Since when was there a girl in red in the group? I didn't see her earlier. Is she a hired pansy by the show? But seriously, she's terrifying. Is she a real actor? Even through my screen, I'm shivering with boozings. People commented furiously but kept watching. But the 2 cameramen were too scared. The camera dropped to the floor early. Within an hour, the live stream was cut off. Meanwhile, the guests outside felt the temperature drop further. The bone-chilling cold was unmistakably real, making everyone present realize this was no staged event. It was a genuine encounter with ghosts. Even brave Wen Haitian panicked and ran madly toward the door. But the previously wide-open door was now locked tight. Not only that, the dilapidated door, which couldn't be locked before, was now sealed. They desperately pounded and shouted, "Open the door! Stop joking! Open up!" Their cries were in vain. The girl in red began moving. Her face was hidden under long hair, only her blood-red eyes glared. She slowly approached. Everyone pressed close to the door in fear. Only I stood still. They thought I was frozen from fright. One cameraman shouted, "Whoa, run!" But I stood firm. The red-dressed girl suddenly screamed and charged at me. Wang and the others panicked as they yelled. Yet I remained unmoved. Then I looked coldly up at her and said, "You really are a fool." At the same time, the demonic aura around me began to spread. Since Wang and the others were ordinary people, they couldn't perceive the dark energy on me, so they only saw the girl in red. Suddenly, she halted. What happened next shocked everyone. The girl suddenly kneeled before me, kowtowing repeatedly, saying, "Great One, forgive me, I was blind and did not recognize your status. Please, Great One, spare a lowly girl." In truth, those who become territorial spirits after death usually rely on instinct and resentment. Like animals with a strong survival instinct, once sensing a superior powerful demonic aura, they immediately surrender. This girl in red was a prime example. She originally startled us, trying to suck away our vitality, but when she sensed my aura, she realized she was up against a big player and begged for mercy. The guests around didn't know what was happening. All they saw was astonishment. The scary atmosphere instantly dissipated. The goddess couldn't help but ask, "So this is a staged performance by the production?" Because the girl's kneeling made nobody think she was a real demon. Of course, people naturally assumed the production had arranged everything. The girl in red grew furious upon hearing this. She looked up and shouted at the goddess, "Do you want to die?" Of course, she respectfully nodded. Though she submitted to me as the Demon King's daughter, she remained a terrifying territorial spirit to normal people like the goddess. With a shout, cold winds swept wildly, blowing her hair back. Her blood-red eyes and pale face were revealed. Wowon and the others screamed again, nearly fainting. They realized this was no stage act, but a real ghost. They looked at my expression with a hint of respect. I said coldly to the girl, "All right, stop shouting to scare people. Tell me, what are your grudges?" Asked the Demon King's daughter. Part of my cultivation was helping wandering territorial spirits return to the underworld. So I asked her further. She fell silent. I didn't ask more. Using my demon eye, I saw through everything. This girl had been abused by the school's teachers. She became pregnant but was blamed by classmates as immoral. She sought help from her family, but they didn't believe her. The teachers were the culprits. They accused her of loose behavior. Even her mother scolded her. If you hadn't been so vain with makeup, you wouldn't have met this. Society always blamed women for everything. Thus she became a victim. In despair, she chose to jump off a building. Her hatred couldn't dissipate. So she and the Fatus lingered in this place. The little imp on the old priest's shoulder was her child. I sighed, "You're pitiful too." Then added, "Let me help deliver your mother and child's souls." The girl suddenly raised her head, unwilling. She seemed to want to say something. I guessed it in advance and nodded, interrupting her. "Don't worry, the wicked will get what they deserve. I won't let those who harmed you live well." At my words, her red eyes softened. I began delivering both souls. Unlike the grand ritual the Taoist priests performed, my method was simpler. I just took a lipstick from my bag and drew a protective charm around us. The ritual started quickly. The production's cameraman seemed to recover, quietly picking up the camera and resuming the live stream. I noticed but ignored him and continued the ritual. All viewers returned to their screens. After recovering the shot, they saw me with closed eyes murmuring incantations. Commentators flooded with questions. "What's this? Did I see it right?" Woman seems to be performing a soul delivery ritual. Has this scandalous star gone too far? First fame-hungry, now pretending to be a spiritual medium? I've waited so long to see supernatural events, but all we get is this fake show. Who are they fooling? No wonder she's hated so deeply. No one believed I was really delivering a soul. It was thought to be an act. I ignored the comments and finished the ritual. Then I looked into the live camera emphatically. "Go to Jia, Van Fong, then show." And Hannah, these are the names of the 3 teachers who harmed the deceased girl. I hope the police investigate this case thoroughly, not only for the girl who's passed, but for many victims too afraid to speak up, and for the sake of future victims to prevent abuse. Without another word, I walked out of the classroom. Quickly, the show The Soul Beside You shot up to the top of the hot searches. Next was my name. At first, netizens cursed, calling me a fake medium, but soon many guests on the show posted in support of me. The director of the show said, "Woman is a very capable girl. Thanks to her, we all left unscathed. Enciona and Wenwen are the ones I admire most. She's the champion. She's definitely not a fraud." These guests spoke sincerely. Having experienced the school incident, they knew I wasn't ordinary. When the director added me on WeChat and called, it caused quite a stir online. Seeing this, some were bewildered. Could Wu Wenwen actually be powerful? Why else would so many guests stand up for her? Others doubted, thinking she must have pulled strings somewhere for the production to defend her. Not just the show's team guests too. As everyone doubted, the goddess posted a photo of a pearl necklace on Weibo, saying, "Bought a pearl necklace." Thought it was deep ocean pearls, but turns out it wasn't. Though seemingly unrelated, this was a jab at me, calling me an imposter, a fake master. The netizens seized on this, escalating their abuse. "I told you Fan Van was acting. She's been exposed." Still her loyal fans, be honest with yourselves, not sold out to deceive the public. The attacks were about to begin, but then a surprise came. The police announced they had arrested the 3 abusive teachers I named during the live stream. Simultaneously, the deceased girl's mother from 20 years ago spoke publicly. "My daughter said she was abused by teachers. At first, I didn't believe her. I thought teachers wouldn't do such vile things. But then my daughter killed herself." Oh God, it's too late to regret now. Why didn't I believe my daughter? I even investigated, tried to find out which teacher did this, but I found nothing. Unexpectedly, after 20 years, the police uncovered her murders. I must thank Wolonwon for naming those 3 scoundrels. Without her, so many victims wouldn't dare speak out. Many other parents also declared our daughters were also abused by those 3 monsters. Online, everyone was shocked. What? I thought those 3 names were just lies to stir drama. No way, they really exist. They're the ones who forced the girl to commit suicide? So Wolonwon really had contact with the deceased? Otherwise, how else would she know those names? Oh God, I'm getting goosebumps. Do the higher-ups have Wolonwon's loyal fans here? Addicted to acting, maybe? She's just a fake who knows nothing of the supernatural. Someone please think logically. No one knew about the past, but Luowen did. This isn't spiritualism. Then what else? She must have the power. Meanwhile, the goddess said, "What's with the pearl nonsense? Sounds like green tea drama." Most people still anti-Luowen, still are goddess fans. Due to later events, public opinion shifted dramatically. The critics of me diminished, while criticism of the goddess intensified. In the heated debate, the show prepared its second season. By season 2, when I arrived at the studio, I could feel the atmosphere had changed. The crew treated me more respectfully. A few police officers were also present. They quickly approached me. "Miss 111, thank you for your clues last time." In fact, after season 1 aired, the police contacted me. I provided many leads about the case. At first, they didn't believe me, but after investigation, they confirmed everything I said was true. Since then, they regarded me with respect. They also told me why they were here. Season 2's episode related to a recently cold case. The victim was within the policewoman's circle. To explain, it was a male artist. He died in a mountain villa but wasn't thoroughly investigated. So they invited me to check it out. From the director and police description, I knew today's filming site was the villa of a wealthy tycoon. Last month, he hosted a private party at the villa attended by industry insiders, but a male artist died during the party. After investigation, his death was ruled accidental fall, but many strange events occurred in the villa. Bloody writing appeared on walls. Neighbors heard mournful cries at night. Suspicious of foul play, police sought our help, or rather, they saw me. Filming started quickly. Upon entering the villa, I said something hot and frowned at Wang Haitian. In season 1, Wang was lively. Now he looked tense and anxious. The production team couldn't wait and asked, "Luo, have you figured out why the artist died?" This season was less scary, so the team added dramatic color. The peak ratings came from debates on whether I truly had spiritual power, so they directly asked. I replied coldly, "I don't want to say yet." Right after, the comments exploded. "What? Not telling us after waiting so long? Haha, last time was staged by the show, now she can't hold it up." Thought Luo was truly gifted. Looks like she's fooling viewers again. I ignored the nonsense, walked to the sofa, and closed my eyes to rest. The crew became anxious, about to urge me on, but suddenly a gentle voice said, "Let me try." Everyone turned to see the goddess standing, smiling brightly. Actually, I had some spirit medium skills too. I wanted to help the poor departed. I rolled my eyes. Is she begging her ancestors to help? All attention shifted to the goddess. The director brightened. "You also know spiritualism?" "Yes," she smiled, "but it harms the body, so I rarely use it. This time, for the innocent departed, I'm willing to sacrifice myself." I couldn't help but smirk. This active fairy got plenty of screen time. Inviting ancestors to help doesn't cause any harm, yet she acted like giving up her life, obviously just fishing for public approval. Yet people were fooled. Comment section erupted. "Wow, the goddess is amazing, so noble. The goddess avoided revealing her ancestors' identities. This process involves personal privacy. Can we pause the live stream?" Of course. The crew agreed. They paused the cameras, heightening tension. But the comments cried out, "Wow, want to see the goddess medium." "Why not? So sad." Once off camera, the goddess took out a jade pendant, a token between her and her ancestors, genuinely planning to call them. I had been silent all this time. Then I spoke. "I advise you not to act rashly." Everyone's gaze fell on me. The goddess frowned, clearly impatient. "Woman, I know you're unhappy I'm more outstanding, but we should be honest with the public. Your tricks mean nothing." Her words carried weight. She hinted I only revealed the real culprit through deceit. She implied I was jealous and obstructive. I ignored the nonsense. Her half-finished speech, "If you summon your ancestors, you drag them into this karmic mess. It harms their cultivation." Are you sure? Nowadays, spiritual energy wanes. Achieving immortality isn't easy. So I warned her. She probably didn't understand, or even if she did, didn't care. She continued her performance. "Woman, don't let selfishness cause innocent suffering." I apologized. She held the jade pendant and muttered, Suddenly a sinister wind arose, the window burst open, and a sleek golden marten sashayed in. The director immediately reacted, "So you invited Great Golden Immortal? If it's a paranormal show, the director should know a bit of occult knowledge." He could tell at a glance. The golden marten walked nobly inside its gate like a refined lady. The goddess bowed respectfully and explained, then admitted, "Great Immortal will trouble you today." But the golden immortal simply squinted and surveyed the room, growling, "I heard someone among you claim spiritual powers. I want to see who dares to fool me." I stood nearby, understanding everything. Today the goddess not only wanted to show off but also teach me a lesson. I couldn't help but laugh. Who's trying to fool who? The golden immortal's survival made the whole house tense and silent. Of course, my chuckle stood out. All eyes turned to me. "I am the great immortal." It emitted a cold glare and said, "You're the clueless girl. I want to see what you've got." It then lunged at me. I released my demonic aura. Since I was an immortal body, I usually appeared normal with no cultivation. The golden immortal thought so too. When I unleashed my aura, my true power manifested. The immortal's shocked eyes widened. Its whole body stiffened and froze. But everyone else hadn't quite grasped what happened, especially the goddess, who looked delighted and began lecturing. "Woman, quickly admit your fault. We all understand youth is vain, pretending to know things is normal." And no one, before she finished. An even bigger shock happened. The golden immortal suddenly flailed and fell, sliding like ice skater. It cried loudly, begging, "Great One, I was wrong. I was blind and insulted you. Please forgive me." The villa fell into eerie silence. Everyone was stupefied. Finally, the cameraman muttered, "I think I've seen this scene before." He was recalling the abandoned school where the red demon girl knelt and begged like this. But the golden immortal was more terrified than the red ghost. Because its cultivation was too weak, it was stared rigid by me. The goddess was furious. "Great immortal, what's wrong? Why honor a mere mortal like Luo Wanlun?" Before she finished, the golden immortal glared, "Don't talk nonsense. This is no mortal, this one is a celestial maiden. What nonsense am I spouting? A daughter of the demon king becoming a fairy so fast?" The goddess was stunned, then bent at the waist and bowed to me. Ignoring the immortal's flattery, I asked, "So shall we continue investigating?" Then everyone remembered, we're still filming. The director was quickest to recover. "Process, of course, if we want to," I calmly said. "I'll shorten the process." Everyone was still dazed. What does that mean? Suddenly, an intense grudge hit the room. All the lights went out. Then a shadow emerged, charging at us, yelling, "You killed me. You must pay with your life." The demon's arrival made the goddess panic and cling to the golden immortal. "Master, protect me." I looked at her powerless state and muttered, "Don't worry, it won't harm you. Its target is one Haitian." At my words, everyone froze. Then they heard Wayne screaming desperately, "No, don't come. I don't want to die." The others escaped to hide. Wayne's scream sounded agonizing. The director was terrified but turned to me. "Woman, you're the Grandmaster. Should we help?" I said coldly, "Evil meets its punishment. Why help would you be?" Everyone went silent. True, I knew everything the moment I stepped into the villa, but I didn't wish to expose it immediately. Because I knew Wen Haitian was the enemy of the villa's vengeful spirit. I was not a compassionate Taoist or monk. I believe evil begets evil. If the rival of the vengeful ghost is here, why should I interfere? Let him suffer revenge first. What could go wrong? So I stayed hands off. Until Wan's cries weakened, I finally spoke. "Enough." At once, I waved my hand. All lights returned. Everyone saw Wan covered in blood. Next to him was a pale young man, radiating intense hatred. He had become a real ghost. This was the young artist who died recently. I had been restraining him. He looked at me, face full of resentment, saying, "He ruined me. Why can't I find him and get revenge?" From these words, everyone understood. Wang Haitian had betrayed him. He promised to introduce a wealthy investor. The young man had thought it was just an introduction, but it had caused unbearable torment. In the end, he jumped to his death at the investor's villa. He hated Wen deeply and wanted to kill him. That's why he became a territorial spirit and confronted the shameless investor. I already knew this but said coldly, "But he's dead. Does he want to pay in hell? Is he worth it? The young spirit hesitated, his eyes filled with unwillingness. Should I forgive these mortal scum? Of course, the mortal world has its own laws. I looked at the confused police. I trusted the police to act as his guardian. The police came back to their senses and said, of course, only then could we stop him. Wang was rushed to the hospital, but the young spirit's soul still couldn't reincarnate. He continued to wait. The cameras returned to normal. Viewers saw Wang's pitiful state and the online statement from the artist. This caused a huge sensation. No one escaped. Everything was investigated. The evildoers paid the price. Only then could the young spirit let go and reincarnate. Meanwhile, the goddess fans became smug. Our goddess really is powerful. Handled everything right away. This is the real deal. Fakes can't compare. Indeed, because the livestream was cut, the goddess fans thought season 2's success belonged to her. They also mocked me, but they didn't expect a slap in the face so soon. The police posted public thanks to Wo Wenwen for helping crack the case. The artist's parents, production crew, and guests all praised me. No one mentioned the goddess even once. In the end, the production cut a segment for national broadcast. Everything was crystal clear. The goddess not only failed in pretending but ultimately relied on me. Everyone was amazed. The goddess' 80 fans refused to believe, insisting I was acting, but the police confirmed I wasn't. Eventually, everyone believed in my ability. Gradually, I grew more famous. Meanwhile, the goddess' fate turned bleak. After season 2 ended, I asked the Golden Immortal, "Want me to give you some tips on cultivating?" His eyes lit up and he nodded eagerly. It was clear his cultivation had stagnated and he badly needed guidance. I smirked. "I'll help, but you can't help that acting fairy's family anymore. Sorry, not sorry. I'm petty like that." Though I despise the goddess, she keeps dancing on thin ice. I would never forgive so easily. She definitely needed a lesson. Unexpectedly, the Golden Immortal agreed immediately. After all, he owed them a favor. Whatever was owed was long paid. Now, it was just coveting their incense offerings. For him, incense offerings couldn't compare to my guidance. Then the Golden Immortal immediately abandoned the goddess. Her luck declined. Scandals surfaced. People began doubting her talent and acting. Her company's dark deeds were exposed. She was thoroughly ended. In contrast, my fame kept rising. Years later, after successfully training and returning to the underworld, my adorable father, the Demon King, personally asked my beloved daughter, "What's it like becoming a star in the mortal world?" I just smiled and answered, "Not bad, father.